I do know something about running for vice president. Yes, that's right.
So you do have that experience, but I could see uh, Republican voters, Republican delegates saying, "What's he doing in the GOP? Why doesn't this guy stick to the LP? What's he doing in our backyard right now? Aside from the political one, I want to know why Mike is doing this."
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think that there's two things to bear in mind for me personally. One is that as a long-term Republican, right? Not too many people are going to be able to accuse me of having lately joined their party, right? That would require you to be able to say you were working for the Republican Party in 1992 when I was, right? Not too many people out there predate my professional experience campaigning for the Republican Party. I spent all of 92 on the communications staff for the reelection campaign. I spent 1990 and 91 working for the White House when George Herbert Walker Bush was my boss's boss. I spent the 90s working for various Republican, I campaigned for Bob Dole. I campaigned for W in Austin, Texas. That's a funny thing, right? When he was running for reelection as governor of the Lone Star State, I spent a lot of time around the Republican Party. I grew up fiscally conservative. So working for the guy who had said, read my lips, no new taxes, and then agreed to new taxes is a tough moment, right? It's a tough moment. And I'm someone who grew up, very, very conservatively. But in our generation, John, when you grow up conservatively, that didn't mean you impose your political will to move your faith-based values in imposition on someone else. And so when friends of mine in the party came to me and asked me to support the Defense of Marriage Act, for example, right? I can remember thinking, and I even said out loud to a friend of mine, even if we were the most homophobic, bigoted people on the planet, which I hope we're not, right? But I recognize some folks are. Even if that were the case, why would I care? Why are you telling me to care about this issue in such a fashion as to support the Defense of Marriage Act, which, kids, ask your parents, was federal statute to not allow same-sex marriage, right? Why, why motivate me, make me care? And when I said this to a buddy of mine, I distinctly remember the circumstance. He said, "You're a libertarian." And I remember what I said to him. I don't say horrible things to you. Why would you say such a mean thing to me, right? But he, of course, was right. And I joined the Libertarian Party around the time I changed careers and became a police officer in 2010, 2011. Spent more than a decade in the Libertarian Party, was the VP nominee. My team is still of the Liberty Movement. We were of the Liberty Movement before joining the Liberty Party. We're of the Liberty Movement now. We joined the Republican Liberty Caucus as a team of 45 people last year, rejoined the Republican Party because this is the debate that's going to matter. The debate that's going to matter, I believe, in the whole world, but certainly in American politics, the debate that's going to matter is how is the Republican Party going to define itself in the wake of the exodus of President Trump?